Um, what do you expect from the offense this year, and what areas are you focusing? You feel maybe you need to improve upon?
Obviously, we want to improve in every area. I'm expecting, we got a lot of great players. We're excited about where we're at as the depth we've added, certainly starting up front, the depth we've added up front with the line, bringing in Isaac, and I say depth also just by, the age and maturity and experience we've got up front. So we've got a really, in my opinion, a solid veteran group up front, which will allow us to be good at, you do everything up front. So I think that's important. Obviously, we want to. We did some things. We had, 10 play drives were good. Third down was good. We got to score more points. Got to be better in the red zone. Some more explosive plays. And there's a lot of things to work on. But ultimately, we just have to find a way to win more games, and that starts up front for us. And we're excited about where we are with that.
I know it's a little early to tell or to evaluate, but where do you see Kenny at this point in year two?
I think Kenny's had a good spring. Obviously, every day is up and down, and when you play quarterback, and then Coach Tomlin says it the best, right? It's football like not football. So, but I think he's improving. He's seeing things, playing fast, getting some timing with the guys that you need to do as you become the starter, which was last year he was learning, and we had obviously different situations. So I think Kenny's had a very good spring, and excited about where he is.
How much more is he ready to take on from last year as a rookie?
Well, I think Kenny's extremely intelligent. I think it's a lot of that think always falls to to the quarterback, right? That's the easy way to look. And he was a rookie, and there's some things there. But how much more is the all offense ready to take on? Like I mentioned, we're better up front. We're more experienced up front. 2 years ago we started a bunch of rookies, and so I think as an offense as a whole, you're going to see some a lot of things expanding because the ability and the knowledge and the experience they've all gained. But certainly Kenny fits into that.
Yesterday we talked to Najee. He said it took a while for you guys to establish an identity last year within the offense. How do you work on establishing that in a more rapid fashion, and what do you think this identity of the offense could be this year?
Well, I think our identity was pretty clear the last 9 games. We ran the ball really well. We were physical. You saw who we drafted, who we acquired. I don't think there's any question about what our identity is going to be. I think we want to run the football. We want to be physical. We want to be a good team that throws the ball down the field and take advantage of what the defense gives us. And so I think our identity has been well known and well stated where we're at.
Man, I know it's
as
probably
far as the red zone goes, you brought that up before.
Sure.
The last day of OTAs, Mitch made the comment that he thought some of the best periods that the offense has had this year, where they won the most, was the red zone. Was that your observation as well? And if so, where has it worked out?
Yeah, obviously commenting about that, but just I think we spent a lot of time on the red zone. Again, we're aware of what are those issues. We had some missed assignments. It doesn't matter why we aren't successful. Again, that's what we all want to talk about. But the bottom line is we have to be more productive down there. So as a staff, we spent a lot of time on what that was. We spent a lot of time in meetings and installation, and that's been a primary focus. So I think we're seeing growth and we're seeing improvement, but nothing out here. It's a bottom line business, and the bottom line's in the fall. But we're certainly working at it. It's an area of focus, and we're excited about where we are today.
Matt, down the field, or Matt, across the league, downfield passing was at a league low since I think 2006. As an offensive guy, is there a reason or a trend that you can point to why that might be the case?
Obviously, possession of the ball is a really big deal, and I think you look at the games last year, and you guys all study everything, I'm sure, but the games that we lost, we turned the football over. Right? I mean, almost all of them. We had multiple turnovers, and I'm only answering our point. There's a risk reward to those things. We've got to do it better. It's another area. Talk about red zone. Talk about big plays and getting our guys. There's no hiding behind or acting like that's not real. But they're also, you're asking a question about the league. People aren't doing it because they don't want to give them the ball. And obviously, there's a positive and negative to both, and we have to find that balance and get our guys in space to make plays, let them make plays, but also continue to be a physical football team.
Do you think that's an anomaly, or is that something that maybe course correct this year and we could see more of those?
I'd have no idea. Like I said, I'm only focused on us and what we got to be better at. So I don't have the answer.
You talk about the identity of running the ball. You got the second-year quarterback. A lot of people believe that's how games are won with quarterbacks. Is that a balance where you have to get Kenny more and more involved, even if though you want to run the ball?
Oh, I think we've got there's an identity that's coming from as an organizational plan, right? It's not like I'm coming in here deciding what it is. There's a plan from Mr. Rooney to Coach Tomlin, and so obviously when I say we're going to run the ball, it doesn't mean we're going to run it every play. And our quarterback, you win. Quarterback has to make plays. You're exactly right. In this league, the quarterbacks make the plays to win the games at those key moments, and we have great faith in Kenny, Mitch, and Mason to do that. But the prior question, as I answered it, was just saying, we do have an identity. We're going to be a physical team, and if you stop the run, then we obviously have to take advantage of that with play action passes, misdirection passes down the field, and that's when Kenny's got to make those throws at those times when he's called upon.
How much pressure do you feel? I mean, all the pieces seeming in place. Now to be able to put that together to make this offense, a top 10 offense.
I got a great job, and I can't imagine a job when you don't have pressure, right? It's easy to quote people talk about pressures or privilege, right? I'm excited. I would not want any other job, and obviously to have the great players we've got here, we're excited about what we've got and the development that we've made over the course of time with the guys we've had and some new additions. So, there's pressure every day in life if you've got something worth doing. So I don't feel any more than I ever feel. I want to do the best job I can for us to win football games.
Was there an advantage to you to have the same?
Go ahead, you're up.
I said, was there an advantage to you to have the same quarterback 2 years in a row? I mean, you've had some turnover every year that you've been going into this. This feels like the first year you've had some real continuity from year to year.
It's a positive. Certainly, obviously, you're able to build and do some things when you kind of, we know what Kenny likes, what Kenny is, good at, what Kenny needs to build upon, strengths, weaknesses at every position. I think you look at the course of time where we've been through this process, and we've had a lot of younger players, and the quarterback is the most noticeable in the pivotal position. But we got a bunch of those at a lot of spots. So for sure, we're excited about where we are and the development we can make with the experience at a lot of spots.
Matt,
what kind of progression can we see from George this year? And what is Allen?
I'm sorry, I missed the first part.
What kind of progression can we see from George this year? And what is Allen added to your receiving?
I'll go in reverse order. Allen, what a great guy, and it's a great leader. His experience, again, I continue to talk about it. I just think we're a more experienced unit on offense right now from pieces that we've had here that have developed, and bringing in Allen, bringing in Isaac, some guys who've played a lot of football. And Allen is such a leader as he's coming in and getting involved, and has great pride in his work, great pride in his group, great pride in the offense, and has been a real asset to us as far as what it takes to do it. And I think he's a really, really good football player, another guy you have to cover, and I think that's a real benefit for us. So I'm thrilled that he's here, and I think it adds another dynamic weapon for us. To your point about George, I mean, George is he played a lot last year as a rookie, made a lot of special plays, and we certainly expect and for him to continue to ascend and continue to make those plays. And obviously, as we all, I'm not going to ever put it on just Kenny or, as we all continue to grow as an offense and we continue to raise our floor, I think we can see more, different things from different guys. And there'd be no reason to think George won't really, flourish as we continue to do that.
Matt, does he need to be more of a complete receiver, or is he fine just being a guy running down the sideline?
No, obviously, the more you can do, the harder you are to cover. And again, it comes back to what you're good at, and that's Pickett. There's only so many plays. Talk about identity. There's only so many plays in a game, so you've got to find those plays, put him in those spots where he can make plays. And as he continues to do that, I think he'll continue to ascend and be an elite receiver, because we do believe talent-wise he has that capability.
Matt, if he's single covered outside, is he open or considered open?
I think that's a question for you guys to answer. But we feel very good. If somebody covers him one-on-one, we feel good about the odds.
Kenny was two young guys that seem like potential mismatch options, getting Calvin Austin this year and then trying out Washington. How much do you feel like you can use those guys to different in ways that maybe people that aren't their specific size at their positions would be used?
I think it's a matchup business, right? That's what the NFL is. Everybody's got great players, and it's a matchup game, and you try to find them each week. I think that's the part about the game that's fun and challenging, right? Each week's a little different. You don't run the same. You can't do exactly, because they might have a better player at that competitive spot. So you mentioned those two players, and Darnell obviously coming in this year is an exciting guy. Super excited he's here. Great kid, great dude, learning, working. You saw seeing what he can do on tape, and he's a tremendous blocker, but he can make some plays. He can make some plays in the pass game as well, and I do think he creates some matchup issues. And that, again, how fast that comes goes back to, he's now year one learning, and we're going, and we're soaking him with a lot of different things here through this process to see what he's good at, what he's comfortable with, and to be honest, in his defense, we haven't put any pads on yet. And his strength, as you all know, is when the pads are on. So excited about what he can bring. Calvin, you were all there at camp last year. What Calvin brings to the table and his unique skill set is something that I am excited about, and I know our whole staff and organization is excited about. So he's done a great job through last year's camp before he got nicked up, and then again now. So that's been a real positive.
Kenny last year in the second half was cognizant about not making mistakes, and he very rarely did.
Can he still operate that way, or do you need him maybe to be a little more aggressive?
There's a balance, you know. Obviously, I don't mean we can't. I think there's a balance for us, and we're going to continue to let that grow. But again, if you look at the stats and you go through them, the games that we turned the football over, we didn't win, and that doesn't mean you can play afraid not to make a mistake. But you have to, you know, there's a line there. You can't just go out there and wing it around. And we have an organizational plan of what we're going to do and how we're going. We got a tremendous defense standing out there that's going to play really good. We're going to put our special teams in a good spot. All those things add up for us winning. Stats are great, and we've got to do our part, and we're going to be really, really good at doing that on offense. But ultimately, it's only about winning. So, to answer your question, yes, but we still got to take care of the football. You go ahead. You have one more.
I was just going to ask, how can Connor's versatility help your offense and scheme against opposing defenses?
Con, he's another guy that I'm really, really high on and done a great job through the spring and through, you know, obviously last year as a rookie, you saw him ascend early on, had some mistakes and things, and he kept going and made some huge plays for us. And he's continued that trend here through, through the spring. You know, Connor's a guy that I'm a big fan of. And to your point and your question, his versatility, what is he? That's the big question everybody asks. If somebody figures it out, let me know. But he's good at a lot of different things, which is a benefit for us. Back to the prior question about matchups, I think he fits that mold. Who are you putting on Connor? And then what can we do? And again, completely for our offense, being able to do different things based on what they give us, you know, with our same skill set. So Connor's a unique talent, and we're excited about him as well.
Thank you.